Hello, beautiful friends. What a delight it is to be connecting with you all today. Now, I have pre-drawn some cards, but I have not looked at them. So this is spontaneous and wild. We're about to see what happens. But what I've noticed in my meditations and dreams over the last few days is that there's a lot of shame coming up for the masculine and how that is surfacing. Of course, it could be avoidance, it could be ignoring, it could all of this. But there's also just like a lot of triggering going on, not just within counterparts, but with like in dynamics within ourselves and within the collective at large. So, what I'm seeing with this shame is like, it's a simple question can activate like a whole like, blah, 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 and it's like, whoa, like there was no projection onto that. Like, this is actually coming from a place of curiosity, but it's seeing how tender another person can be when they have unresolved shame they haven't worked with. So that's what we're going to work with in this reading today. I've drawn cards both for the feminine perspective, the masculine perspective, and for the shared energy between them. Now, as we do this, it's like this is, the messages that come through are, from the inner worlds, the spiritual worlds of the collective feminine. It's coming from the masculine. And this is always intended to be a clear reading so that there's activations in the words that I share, in addition to some real tactile healing skills and tools that you can use to help move these energies along for the collective. Okay, so we're going to start with the feminine perspective. Oh, I'm already loving this. Okay, so this is a really cool journey moving forward. I just killed a fly. If you saw that, I'm sorry. Let's take a moment for that fly. Okay. They're really bad around my house. Okay, so what we're starting off with the collective feminine around uh the engagement around shame. Okay, so the card that comes out, and this is the inner child cards, is the Ace of Wands. Now, the message I actually get with this is, there was a time that we were whole. I was touching on this, the Lumerian wound, where that was the original split, where like the masculine and the feminine, we weren't masculine or feminine yet. We were just one, and then we ripped, creating the feminine and the masculine, and the polarity of not being together, and the fear that came with that, and the separation and the projections and all of that. So a lot of that came during those times. So the message I get with this card is actually that, our awareness around this original wound, which was beautiful, like we created a split so that we could experience things in different ways. And now we're in a time where we're merging back together. Now, in this merge, of course, like the old fears and things are going to come up. But what this card symbolizes to me is like, but we hold the keys and the memories of what it was to be whole, and now we're kind of like reweaving our DNA so that we become whole once again. Now, of course, this is happening within us, but it's also happening externally. So the message I got very strongly earlier today, as I was sitting with these energies, is just like everything is perfect. Like everything is divinely happening as it should. We are moving with these energies as it is designed. Now, and the job of the feminine right now, and I was watching another video just before this, and it was really speaking to this idea of witness. Like it is a time of witnessing. Now, there was a time that the masculine was actually stabilizing and witnessing the feminine coming into her strength, coming into her power, clearing her karma. And that's difficult to watch. It's difficult to watch people go through difficult connections, or, clean up addictions, like, get their shit together. It's not always easy. But now, in a way, the feminine is watching the masculine do this and being a witness to that process, and while having fun and stabilizing. It's not what we're just like holding avoidance over in the corner. We're actually living our lives and being full on expression. Okay, so as we're in, this is the overall process that we're working on healing right now, right? So it's like it's this coming into full embodiment, that total inner union as it's met externally. And that's understanding, because I think sometimes we have to understand outside of ourselves that when we witness a process, either we've just gone through it ourselves and now it's like surfacing in the physical in a way. So the message that comes through with this is the Seeker of Boons, or the Knight of Pentacles. And what I hear really, this card for me, as it portrayed in this deck, is always to proceed with caution. All right, to watch your step, to be mindful of every little step that you take. But at the same time, it's like she's enjoying this process. She's treasuring everything around her that she sees and values. Okay, so in this valuing of the process, I think this is where we're getting really discerning. We're reactivating the memories that we had. We're also having fun, starting to be the embodiment of ourselves. I was just watching this show, The Other Bennett Sister, which is really fun. It's on BritBox or on Amazon or whatever. And the beauty of the arc of that show, it shows a feminine who has, she's kind of limited by the way that society moves. It's a little frustrating. She's really spoken down to within her family, not appreciated. And it watches her, like, try to engage and play in the world as she truly is, where it's not accepted or valued. And then you see the trajectory of her blooming in a space where she is seen and valued. And through that, she's able to trust and discern her own heart and speak her own truth and stand in the things, so that the mate that she ultimately knows she's calling forward, and in love and respect, is coming forward, and so, but she's also fine being herself within that process, so it's quite beautiful. Okay, so how does this get bridged into the world? What is this process? The ultimate medicine to how it's feeling, how it's being moved through. It is the Fool. Okay, so this message of being playful, of being brave, of being fun, of just like enjoying the world. This woman with her cape off on a sunny day, like she went from the woods from the jungle to the sea, and it's really embodying this sacredness. I'm also getting a really strong message around rest. This is an amethyst crystal. And it was funny, I was just having a contemplation with my own amethyst last night. I was like, wow, like that's there and it's really helping me. And I've been so sleepy and needing to just take things slow. Like in the middle of the day, I just get knocked out, especially if I've been doing energy clearing, where I just have to sit and let the energies kind of wash over me and process. And in the past, I felt rushed, to get certain things done or whatever. But for me this summer, and partly it's because I have a broken foot, like I'm innately being asked to slow down on my masculine side of like, wait, stop taking action, move into the reciprocity, move into the act of receiving. Now, if we engage with this process as it is being oriented and designed, what we're looking forward to is the Wheel of Fortune, the harvest, the abundance. This is the act of receiving. Now, this is the same message that came through in cards the other day, where it was really, it's like, allowing these things. I do feel very strongly that fall is. It's going to bring us a lot of fruitful fruits, the fruits of our labors. Like we're really going to just to sit and enjoy the abundance. All right. Things that you've been working for will come into fruition, and we can really sit and enjoy and appreciate all that is, without fear, without, needing to control the process. The seeds have been planted. They are growing. You might need to water and tend to them a little bit every day, and make sure that they're being protected. And what comes up with that is like, it's being mindful with who you share right now. It is important to share your journeys and be witnessed in your own process, but the act of really creating that sacred circle of the people who see you, who see your soul mission, who know how to help you navigate it and support it in loving ways, is highly recommended. So find who those people are for you. I could be one of those people. If you want to reach out to me for an individual session, we can do that. But anyway, this is the harvest. All right. This is really beautiful. So, the cards here for the feminine, or for those watching this video, is usually how I like to discern it more. Is, it's a really beautiful journey and process we're in. And you know, it moves into major arcana, so to me it shows it's like we're doing this inner work. We've got a fresh new beginning, we've got a mindful night, we've got a joyous fool who's just enjoying, who's just playing, who's receiving, who's allowing this abundant harvest and this wheel of fortune to move through. Okay, so now let's look over at the masculine. Green tea. I was quite thirsty. Okay. Oh, wow. Whoa. Whoa, this is completely unexpected. Okay. So, what we are working with the masculine. Now, again, the intention of this reading was around clearing shame, is allowing this. So the overall message coming forward with the masculine is what I hear. This is the Make a Wish card. This is the star card. Okay, now we did get this in the other reading I did the other day as well. So we're really spot on with some consistency of the energies moving through. What I hear is part of the clearing of the shame is the discerning of the discerning and the identification of the long-awaited wishes of the masculine. Oh, and this brings me, I had a conversation with a man the other day, and you know, I was talking, I was like, yeah, like several men actually. They were all older neighbors, and they were talking about, they're like, oh, well, you know, we knew that it wasn't on the table for us. And like, these men are in their, they're 50 years older than me, 40, 50 years older than me, and they were having fantasies about us being a pair, but they spoke to the thing and they acknowledged, and they were always respectful or whatever. But what I saw in that, I think it's always funny because I think it's often put on the feminine that she's in fantasy mode and whatever. Now the fantasies might be a little bit different, but I do think that ultimately the masculine and the feminine, they both long for companionship. They both long for a closeness. They also both long, whether they want to identify that or not, of being in interdependent relationships. Nobody wants to be codependent, really. And that's part of the chaos that ensues between these couples, is when the energies of codependency start to come in. Now, it's meant that we are meant to be in our own spine, our own strength, so that we can speak and hold our partner accountable for their piece of the puzzle, to step forward in the energies that they're meant to. No one, especially those who are awake and like activating the soul journey, we are not meant to walk around and collapse. And anytime that we, you know, get too comfortable or allow ourselves to drop into a place where um, we're unconsciously allowing another to do our soul's work, the universe is going to shake that up. So what I hear with this is the bigger lesson, and I do love this in contrast with this Ace of Wands here. You know, if we see these two cards together, it's like the feminine is becoming really deliberate about what the original blueprint was, what the original wish was, and that was still to be in union, but we've gone into the thing, and the masculine is coming into the sense of awareness. To me, this shows sudden bursts of knowing, of love, of longing for the masculine. Now, in order for this to happen, it's like that shame has got to get cleared up, correct? So, what does this look like? And you guys are going to geek out too in just a second. So, what this looks like internally is the high priestess. Okay, so to me, that this shows that the masculine is really coming into honoring and valuing that which the feminine components bring forward, both within themselves and within their their counterpart. Now, what I see in this wise woman here is that, okay, so part of the realization that's going on is also the embodiment of our own gifts that are coming forward. The feminine in her process came more and more to embody her innate wisdom, her innate gifts, her sacred ability to move and dance in this incredibly divine way. This is the wise woman. This is the high priestess, all right? The high priestess knows how to walk the path of both the dark and the light. She also knows how to divinate and know which path at any given moment is the higher path. And we're sitting in this time of really being able to discern where we came from and where we're going, where we want to walk, and how we got to the option of where we're moving forward. Okay. So to me, this doesn't indicate as much as a choice point as it indicates more conscious awareness. Now, I do feel that there's a toss between these two cards too. You know, we see the two paths, you know, but this is an embodiment of all is one. There really isn't. There's things that are aligned with spirit and with our higher self. This is the embodiment of all of it, but it's also acknowledging those seedier energies that come up, those temptations, those sort of things. But to me, that this shows that the masculine is in the process of being able to discern how both they've influenced that and how they've, yeah, they have influenced others in that. I think there's coming into an awareness of my actions affect your actions. That message is coming through very long. Every little thing that we do impacts everybody else. And I've spoken this directly to the masculine and the feminine in the past week. It's just like, yeah, you're not following through with that phone call impacts that person's life because they didn't come over here today, or they didn't, you know, they had to make a whole different arrangement for their day based on your time delay. And I think that there's a coming into an awareness. Now, how do we bridge this? You ask. Well, the star card. So anytime we get double meanings like that, and what I like is, to me, well, this is kind of you know, again, similar to this, it's an ambiguous or an androgynous being, right? There's a lot of androgyny in this. Okay, so to me, it's like it's an activation again of that core Lumerian moment when we used to be in one, and understanding that that's where we want to come back to. So we embody this wish. We are divine humans, right? The wish is to be a divine human. It's to be embodied with spirit in the physical body, to be conscious and aware of the higher design of the higher templates and enact them, to embody that. You know, it's not just about us being, you know, scripts or players and on all the world stage, but it's like how we get to dance with divine energies in this physical is an incredibly beautiful sacred process. Okay, so what comes up within this process is the Five of Pipes. And the message I'm actually getting, it's this beautiful, it's the feminine who's, you know, she's playing the sacred healing stones, she's whispering them through the forest, she's embodied with nature. She's coming to that, and she's summoning the deer. Okay. So there's been a large theme for me in the last week of really exploring this idea of the Beauty and the Beast, a story. And I went back to the original tale, and I read all that was in that. And, you know, there's a lot of themes of dreaming and things not being quite as seemed, you know, being nudged, but like not quite understanding or seeing the full picture. It's like our blind spots going on. To me, this feels like a calling in of the strength card of both our wild selves and our divine selves merging. This is the divine human. We're meant to live with the earth, to be present with the earth. We're not as meant to take from her the way that we used to. We're really coming back into harmony with nature. Okay, and so for the process of the masculine, it's like earning to, okay, it goes along with this message. It's like it's embracing the wild self. It's embracing the parts of the self that have hurt others. Okay, so this is the clearing of the shame. Now, what I'm hearing in this message and what we can do, tangible action within this process, is to sing. It is to hum. It is to chant. It is to hit the drum. Whatever song you wake up with in your head in the morning, go sing that song. Belt out your favorite tunes. Let the energy of those tunes move through you. A lot of music is intention is to move story. It is to move thing. It's not to dwell and wallow in it. It's to give voice to the experiences. It's to give voice so that we may be witnessed in the process to as much as we can access from the inner depths to the outer light. Okay, as above, so below, as within, so without. Okay, so we're really working this navigational pole, and I'm seeing all of these energies of light and dark coming together so that we may merge, so that it's just this beautiful, it is the world, it is the water of the ocean, the green of the land, the desert. It's all the colors coming together so that we may be embodied and love ourselves, so our auras may light up. So the path in which we walk, we don't have shadow that is coming or looming, or we don't have gargoyles jumping out of our field trying to connect and bond with people's trauma wounds. No, we are embodying, this is what I've been through. Yes, it was traumatic, but I am not traumatized. I am strong. I am glorious. I am beautiful. Woo! All right. Yeah, we're doing it. Okay. So now we're gonna go up to the third energy, back to structure. I gotta take a drink again. Man, these are big things moving through today. Mm. Okay, so what the third energy wants us to know within this process, okay? This is really quite interesting. Okay, so we get another major arcana card. So we've got quite a few major arcana in this reading. We have two star cards, the Fool, the Wheel of Fortune. We also have Sleeping Beauty, all right, which is the Death card. I'd just like to sit with this a moment. Okay, okay. Interesting. Okay, so I've been connecting with the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale, but what's been moving through a lot in that is this um the component around the fact that Beauty has reoccurring dreams where she connects with her beloved in the dreams, and it is the beloved's true form. Okay, so it is. But while he acknowledges like the torment that he's currently in, okay, so his true form is man, not beast, right? But at the end of the tale, there's actually even a thing of like, well, if you love my wild animal self and you love this, like all I can be in either form. All right. But at that point, there's been a full realization that there's an embodiment of the whole. So the Sleeping Beauty card to me is bringing forth this message of rest. All right, it's bringing forward of the subconscious is coming up to be cleared, and it's being blessed by the divine simultaneously. All right, this, there's also these poppies in the field, so this could represent to me, it's like addictions are being surfaced. They are coming up to be healed and to be released for good. That is the clear thing that I'm getting. And what's really funny is, these are just little stars, but at this thing, they look to me to be little dandelion seeds, which of course represent stars. But that was coming up. In the last reading too, with the wounded healer and the dandelion. Okay, so what we're working with, that we're working with the sun, we're working with the moon, and we're working with the stars. Okay, and the stars are the connection in between that connect us all. Those are the wishes that get planted, the seeds that grow. All right, it is the dark in which the seed lives, and the light from which the seed generates. All right, so all of this is going on. This is very clear to me that this process is incredibly alchemical, and we're in the process, and we get to enjoy it because we know we're in the process now. We're no longer in this in and out of the timeline of, is it going to happen, is it not? No, we are meant to be in union. We are meant to eat the food in which we've planted. We are meant to pick to pick the pomegranates and enjoy the seeds, to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Okay, so what's coming up with this is very interesting. I'm going to draw another card. I knew I was going to need some clarification on this. Okay, so I get the Four of Boons. Okay, so what I'm getting with this is kind of a long reading today, but I really feel like we're getting somewhere super incredible. So the Four of Boons comes forward, okay? The Four of Pentacles. Now, this is greedy trolls who have their abundance, but they're still holding on to it. They're having trouble selling their pies because they don't want to let them go. Okay, so to me, that this is this overarching like feeling of shame within these unions going on. Okay. And that was a confirmation I got from an email that I'm receiving because I forgot to close my email before this. Anyway, so, but this is a great confirmation of like, we have the abundance, we're just not walking. We have the knowledge, we're not walking the abundance because we're still stuck in the old pattern. Now, the question, that I came up with this of like, well, what is this really about? Now, it comes back to the alone time of, we're not meant to be together right now because there's still that inner work and that inner realization that's going on. Now, even in this shows me that even in the depth of shame or the depth of the shadows, the light is coming forward. This is a warm hearth. This is the glowing heart that is starting to radiate, and it can't be hidden from. We're not standing in darkness anymore. And even in this card, there's light coming through to the dreams. All right. There's it's not that there's no more darkness, it's that the darkness has lost its charge, and the light is not gaining its power, but it's in beautiful balance. And what's interesting about this, of course, we've just moved into the summer energies, or the winter energies, depending on where you are. But we're in this time of the most light or the most darkness, depending on where you are. And the beauty of that, in that polarity, is like we're really working that magic. And how beautiful summer is, and to be on our planet when people, we've have the longest night and the shortest night going on simultaneously. It's quite beautiful. All right. And as we work with that energy, we're back to this energy. We're creating the merge. We're coming back into it. And it might not look like anything on the surface because there's still a separation going on, but that separation, this person is still thinking of you. You're still thinking of them. You are the light in the darkness. They are the light in your darkness. They are the thing that keeps you moving through, whether that's conscious or not. And I'm telling you, it's coming in more and more consciousness, because where we're headed with this energy, and it's been a little bit of a headache to get there. We got this Five of Swords, but it's like we're starting to come into these realizations. I want a second card on this Five of Swords. Oh, well, no, I mean, I can see even what's going on in it. Oh, wow. I never noticed this before. Is there something on the card? No, that's the drawing. Wow. Okay. Okay. Great. Fascinating. Okay, so I drew this, and as I was drawing it, I looked more into the background to see what it is. So here it's like, we have this like depths of despair, this headache, this like, woe is me, I'm so shameful. I acted from an ego pattern again, but the embodied self is not far behind. The body itself is on top of this mountain. Now, what's interesting is I've never noticed this before in this card, but there's like all this red, and to me, this is like indicative because, and this looks like a mix of both. Like, is this the ocean of grief and shame, or is this a mountain that he has climbed? Is he riding a wave, or is he atop a mountain? And I was like, oh no, did a shark bite happen? Like, what happened? So to me, it's like in this process, it's messy, it's bloody, it's like, ugh, it is a birth, sort of thing. It is a catalyst, a wound, that is being brought into the light. It's bleeding so that it may be healed, so that can be freed from that. We are bleeding out the energies of shame and negative ego right now. Of course, we need ego. I wouldn't be on this channel if I didn't have some ego being like, I have something important to share. I just, I got to move what I feel in me. But in this process, it's like we've got to bleed out some of the energies that are restricting us. And it's in this process of ascension and embodying the light, allowing the unconscious to become conscious, that we create this thing. Now, the card that I asked for clarification, I got the Sun. Okay, so now we're back to a major arcana once again, and this what is happening in the background of this photo, but in vibing with the light of the sun. Okay, so the cool, the chill, the like, the unconscious again is becoming conscious. That is the overall theme of this reading. Everything is coming into the light, so that we may embody it, and that involves having respect for the shadow, respect for the depth of despair that we've been in, to the ultra highs that have come from this. Woof, woof, woof. We are having respect for this process, and that it's there are strong activations happening right now for these pairs, but especially for the masculine, because they're really shedding, these final layers of what's held them back. They're really taking off these masks so that they can embody the full spectrum of that. They can embody the beauty and the beast. Okay. Now, where is this all headed? Where are we going with this? Four of Pipes. Okay, this is our 1111. This is our union card. This is two people working together to build a home, to build a sanctuary. And what I see within this sanctuary is quite glorious because it's an embodiment. It's almost like they've come out of the cave, out of the birth canal, so that they can build a structure that is safety and safe and supportive for themselves. I am called to draw one more card here, and it is where we started the other day with acceptance, Valerian 44. Okay, and this number point feels very strong. 4 4 is 8. All right, and my birthday is 8/8. I'm a Lionsgate baby. There's also, we've got activations happening around that time with the Lionsgate this year because we have a full solar eclipse on August 12th. So just 4 days after the um the Lionsgate portal, we have this massive eclipse. So I'd like everybody just to be very mindful of that time. And I didn't. This is a similar message as I read or I received from a video that I was listening to. Oh my gosh, there's a hummingbird like flying right by right now. I wonder if you guys gonna be able to see it. Oh no, it moved just at the time. Anyway, this to me, it's this image of the background. All right, it's the acceptance that these lightning bolts of awareness are coming in, and they're coming in fast and furious. It's these sudden epiphanies are moving through. All right, and I like that there's like this little rat like here like chewing the medicine. To me this feels like a toss back even to like Cinderella. It's this bippity boppity boo. Like here we are. We're in the magic of the tale. I've been saying that a lot here. It's like the beginning of the year really felt like the beginning of the tale, where you just see the status quo. It's like, well, here we are. I'm still mopping the floors. I'm still trapped in a place where people don't see or value me. And as the tale has evolved, more people are starting to, or beings are starting to recognize and value the gifts specifically of the feminine. And as she awakens more to her true nature and her true power and the love and the longing in her heart, that creates the rapture, that creates the lightning bolt effects that then affects the masculine, for him to come show up and not only do his work, as we get to see in the Beauty and the Beast tale, but the work of the rest of the princes. He's got to slay those dragons. We don't want to slay dragons. They're actually pretty cool, but he's got to slay the parts of himself, the ego, that's been keeping him back from being in true beloved union with the beloved. And we're actively in the part of the tale. I think that there's been the inciting incident. They've met, they know, they've dreamed, they've longed. Whether they've met or not, like the tale is in the process of the alchemy that gets us to the part of the prophecy coming unveiled. And I truly believe that we are in it. I mean, we are in this time. A collective consciousness is waking up. For me, my codes relate to that around the fairy tales. The fairy tales are the prophecy. The fairy tales are, when you really dive deep into them, they are the codes that guide us through these unions, per my perspective. So anyway, there's been a lot in that. Overall, just keep merging with all that is coming into being. I'm so proud of you for the work that we're doing and the way that we're holding in the collective. Thank you for being here and listening to these messages. I wish you many blessings, and I send you out onto your day and into the world. May this reading around the clearing of the shame and the embodying of the lightning like insight affect and empower us all as we move forward into the golden age. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, have a great one.